rebag costs that way based on the expected tonnage. And some of the models that predominantly sort of recovery people have spoken to us on EPA websites, and they've broken it down to how many bags of rubbish are in a ton of garbage. So you know how many tons you have. They have the equations that you can work through to figure out how many bags that's going to amount to. You sort of figure out what it works out in your community. But either way, it is some guesstimating. It's not going to be precise. It's sort of shooting at targets instead of your price supporting. No one said it too high, no one said it too low.
You think people would be okay with the idea that we have Steve pick up our garbage. Suppose my neighbor used the transfer station and had to buy bags, and I wasn't buying bags. Do you think that would cause any kind of although they wouldn't be paying as much on the transfer station?
Right, so that you have to, yes,
Lower the fee.
you have to lower the fee so that they're not paying more than
So the taxpaying more than they're in effect getting an increase in their rubbish rates, and the people who use it, I'm not sure not.
No, we wouldn't set it so that the $100 that they're paying currently, they don't pay any more than that net, because we don't need it.
Okay, we did the $50 and it did not offset the increase that everybody would see for these bags.
Yeah, I mean, the per bag cost obviously is the variable that you work with to determine how much revenue you need to collect based on the bag you expect to sell. And then you have the transfer station access fee plus whatever that per bag fee is, and the per bag is expected in the course of a certain period, and make sure that that doesn't work out to any more than $100. Because we're getting more than $100 from the household that you. So all those pieces of the puzzle can be worked through.
So
You don't want to make the cost any more costly at all.
But if people have, obviously, the people that use more than you guys will see an increase, and those that use less
Well,
will
that's
see
true.
a decrease.
Well,
But that's kind of what
that's kind of what we're looking for,
because
right? You want to transfer the cost.
you want to
The
be
heavy
usage
users,
based.
usage-based fee, right? That to,
I'm saying I disagree penalizing people because they have kids or they're stay-at-home parents or whatever. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that's any secret. I don't agree with that program at all anyway, but I don't.
So would something
I don't
like
have
that?
kids in the school system, so I get penalized, but I still pay my taxes. I mean, that's just I don't think that's the accurate way to look at something. I pay my taxes in whether I use the fire department, the police department, the school department, the water department. I live in the north end of the island. I don't use town water or sewer. The highway department, I don't think that's, I think when we go to user-based thing, it has a lot more consequences than maybe we realize.
But would it encourage you to
But-
look around and say, like a diaper service that might cost you X amount of dollars that right now you're not looking at? To encourage you to find a different way besides disposal. I'm just using that as an example, but.
Well, I know last week we had 6 bags of trash. And
2.5 recycling bins full.
What the hell are you guys doing that?
so
You need to.
there's a lot of people with kids and there's a lot of
You need
people
to
with
do the
families.
police department review.
So I think those people are going to pay a penalty, and I don't think that's I just don't.
But what it's doing, Howie, is obviously shifting from a general tax-based fund source, like you're suggesting that highways and roads and police protection and so forth are, which are difficult to measure how much we individually consume of those services. So there's broad-based general social benefit kind of services. But water family uses a lot more water than a single person family. And we you take one. So water, electricity is utility, some municipalities out west report run limited, electrical power plants, which are the larger families pay more for that utility. So it's really no different than treating it as a utility as opposed to treating it as a general public service, because you can measure how much people consume, whereas police services, education services, and things of that sort.
Well, I think something seriously has gone wrong in Middletown, and I've mentioned this before, that they've got themselves in a situation where they're doubling the rates. They're charging people $150 a year in the program and $3 a bag. They've doubled the cost of the bag. And I have a hard time sitting here agreeing to set any price or a bag program when in that community specifically, and some others, they've had an increase in the price of the bag because all of a sudden a year later you find out, whoops, that isn't covering the cost. And I think that's a hard sell. That's a hard sell to the town council. That's a hard sell to the public. I've personally received at least a half a dozen phone calls from people I know in this community that are concerned about watching this on this Sarah Becky's website, caring about bags. That has them very concerned. They will definitely show up to any public hearing or council meeting, and it's not as an easy sell as people think, because Middletown is a glaring issue that I think there's an issue there when they have to double the price of the program. There's people paying.
I think, Middletown is kind of crazy.
To say they have a 40% recycling.
But there are hundreds and hundreds of communities across the country that have done this successfully and have not had those kind of experiences. I think there's enough positive experiences to be able to share as examples that Middletown, whatever their individual problems are going to look like the exception rather than the rule. Because it is very successful in so many communities across the state, across the country.
What about, and I mentioned this last time, the town visited, everybody's trash is picked up, and everybody's recycling is picked up. And we have bags for everybody. And what the bags don't pay for, it goes to the tax rate.
And we get to the bidding issue, which we don't want to happen.
What's that, Sharon?
Then our trash collection would have to go to a bidding process, which we don't want to deal with. We don't want that to happen. I still think that Steve had a good idea. Maybe I'm just being very naive, but I just think that people need to be more educated, and I think that could make some kind of an impact on, if the town knows that we have to meet a certain percentage of recycling, and if we don't, this is going to be the repercussion. It's like having a kid. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen to you. If you don't tell them what the whole problem is, and, I just think that maybe Resource Recovery has to come here, do a big demonstration, or, a presentation, explain to the town what needs to be done, and see what the...
What percent of the population do you think would show up? If we did that?
If you
Depends how well you
put
advertise.
something in here about, you're gonna end up paying more for your trash pickup, this is
You
the
get a lot of
reason
people
why.
who show up.
You have more filled in here for a dog officer, you think they're not gonna come here, but it's gonna come out of their pocket directly?
But there
I
were
think they would.
6,000 people that showed up for that.
No, they don't show up for the town financial meeting for that many people either, so.
Yeah, but for everyone who came here, they talked to 25 people about what went on here.
I don't know, I just think that the education part should start
Well,
the
and
process.
especially if Steve's here to say that he gets 6 calls on average a week, that's 132 calls a year that people are calling him or his offices and asking recycling questions.
We did, Steve, we got this recycling tips that we're going to put in, instead of big articles.
I know, I've seen them, but like I was telling Bruce the other day, not everybody reads